Have you ever found yourself sitting in a quiet room, maybe with a book or a cup of tea, and thought, "This is nice"? Maybe it was a moment of peace when the world seemed to slow down for a bit. If you've ever had that thought, you might already know that solitude can be something special, especially as we get older. As we approach our later years, it's common to feel the pressures of society telling us to stay active, stay social, and always be surrounded by others. It's almost as if we're supposed to fill every moment with noise, activities, and people. But what if being alone, especially after 60, could actually be one of the best things for your well-being? In fact, there are a number of surprising benefits to embracing solitude. In this video, I want to explore how being alone after 60 doesn't have to be something to dread. It can be a blessing in disguise. We'll uncover 4 surprising benefits that you might not have thought of. By the end, you'll see that solitude can be not just peaceful, but empowering, fulfilling, and even liberating. So, let's dive in. The first benefit of embracing solitude is the freedom to rediscover yourself. It's easy to lose track of who we are when we're constantly focused on the needs of others, whether that's children, grandchildren, or even friends. Throughout our lives, we often put our attention on making others happy, creating memories with loved ones, and meeting the expectations of society. But after 60, there's a wonderful opportunity to re-examine what makes you happy, what you enjoy, and what you want to focus on. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you did something just because you wanted to? No obligations. No one else to think about, just pure enjoyment for yourself. Solitude gives you the chance to reclaim those simple joys. Maybe it's picking up an old hobby, like painting, knitting, or gardening. Or perhaps it's taking the time to go for a walk without having to rush for anyone else's schedule. It's all about finding the space to explore who you really are, what makes you feel alive, and what sparks your creativity. For instance, I know a woman who, after her children left the house, found herself spending quiet afternoons in her garden. She'd always loved flowers, but never had the time to truly dive into gardening before. In her solitude, she found peace, joy, and a renewed sense of purpose. Something she didn't expect when she first started spending more time alone. It wasn't just about the flowers, it was about the freedom to choose what she wanted to do and when. Now, I'm not saying that solitude means you have to isolate yourself from the world. It's about finding those pockets of time when you can focus on what makes you happy. This freedom to rediscover yourself can lead to a deep sense of fulfillment that's often hard to find when life is constantly demanding your attention. The second surprising benefit of solitude is the ability to slow down and recharge. In our younger years, we're often running from one thing to the next. We juggle jobs, family responsibilities, and a social calendar that never seems to slow down. But as we age, the pace of life tends to slow down naturally, and that can feel like a huge relief. When you're alone, there's no need to rush. You don't have to be anywhere, and you don't have to answer to anyone. This can be the perfect opportunity to truly recharge your batteries. Maybe you found that you're more tired these days, or maybe you're just feeling like things have been non-stop for years. Solitude gives you the space to rest and recuperate, both physically and mentally. Let's take a moment to think about how important rest is, especially after a lifetime of busy days. Slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means taking time to allow your body and mind to heal. A lot of people report feeling more rested and at peace when they embrace solitude. It's as though, in the absence of constant interaction and obligations, your body can finally take the time it needs to heal, to breathe, and to just be. For example, when I speak to some older adults who have embraced solitude, many mention how much more in tune they feel with their own needs. They're able to listen to their bodies without the distractions of others. If they're feeling tired, they rest. If they're hungry, they eat when they're ready. If they need a break, they take one without guilt. It's about honoring yourself and giving yourself permission to slow down without the pressure of being constantly busy. As you begin to embrace more moments of solitude, you might find that you feel less stress, less pressure, and more contentment. The simple act of slowing down is a gift in itself. You can go at your own pace, not dictated by anyone else's needs or expectations. Now, we've talked about rediscovering yourself and slowing down, but there's also the matter of mental clarity. As we get older, the world can sometimes feel like it's moving faster than we can keep up with. In our youth, we had to multitask constantly, handling work, family, social obligations, and more. But solitude allows you to clear away the noise, both external and internal. It provides a rare opportunity for mental stillness, which can be incredibly refreshing. In solitude, you can think more clearly, reflect on the past, and plan for the future without distractions. This mental clarity often leads to better decision-making. You may find that when you're alone, you can finally hear your own thoughts more clearly. Whether you're deciding on how to spend your time, manage your health, or navigate any life changes. One woman I know, after losing her spouse, felt lost in the chaos of her emotions for months. But as time went on, she began to enjoy the quiet moments, taking walks by herself and sitting with her thoughts. It wasn't about loneliness. It was about having the space to process her emotions and reflect on her life. She found that solitude gave her a new perspective on her life and allowed her to make decisions that aligned with her true desires, not what others might expect. That brings us to another surprising benefit of embracing solitude: greater creativity and self-expression. When you're alone, you're free from the judgments of others. You can explore new hobbies or rediscover ones you've long since abandoned. Creativity often thrives in these quiet moments. Whether it's through writing, painting, or even just organizing your thoughts, being alone can spark a creative flow that might have been buried under years of obligations. And the best part, you get to be your true, authentic self without worrying about what anyone else thinks. I've spoken to many people who find they feel more comfortable trying new things when they're alone. It's liberating not to have to explain your every move or worry about meeting others' expectations. So, in this first part, we've covered how solitude can be a gift in ways you might not expect. It offers the chance to rediscover yourself, recharge, gain mental clarity, and tap into your creativity. Solitude can provide the space to think, reflect, and enjoy life in ways that are often drowned out by the noise of daily living. Now that we've explored these surprising benefits, let's dive into the next part and look at how you can really make the most of solitude in your life after 60. Part 2. How to embrace and maximize solitude. Now that we've explored how solitude can help you rediscover yourself, recharge, gain mental clarity, and boost your creativity, let's talk about how you can really make the most of this gift. Embracing solitude isn't always easy, especially if you're used to a busy life filled with constant interaction. But with the right mindset and approach, you can find peace and purpose in these quiet moments. The first step in truly embracing solitude is to shift your perspective. Society often tells us that being alone is something to avoid, that it's a sign of loneliness or failure. But what if we looked at it differently? What if, instead of seeing being alone as something negative, we viewed it as an opportunity to grow, reflect, and explore the depths of who we are? Think about it. When we're constantly surrounded by others, there's little room for self-reflection. You're always on the go, responding to others' needs, and barely have time to listen to your own thoughts. When you shift your perspective and see solitude as an opportunity, it becomes something to cherish, not fear. It's a chance to press pause on the external noise and tune into your own inner voice. A great way to shift your perspective is to remind yourself that alone doesn't mean lonely. There's a huge difference. Being alone means you have the space to focus on your needs, your desires, and your goals. Being lonely, on the other hand, comes from a feeling of disconnection or isolation, which can often be remedied by connecting with others in meaningful ways. Solitude isn't about pushing people away. It's about carving out time for yourself to recharge and reconnect with what matters most to you. To help shift your perspective, try journaling or meditating. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on the positives of your alone time. You might even start a gratitude journal where you list the things you appreciate about the quiet moments in your life. This practice can gradually reframe how you view solitude and help you discover the many blessings it can bring. The second way to maximize the benefits of solitude is to create a peaceful environment. If you want solitude to be a positive experience, it's important to ensure that your physical space is conducive to relaxation and reflection. Think about the environments that make you feel calm and at ease. It could be a cozy reading nook by the window, a quiet corner in your garden, or even a well-lit space with your favorite music playing softly in the background. When you're in a peaceful environment, it's easier to embrace solitude because your surroundings support the feeling of calm and contentment. I've spoken with many people who find that creating a quiet, welcoming space in their home helps them unwind and truly appreciate their alone time. Whether it's lighting a candle, arranging fresh flowers, or simply having a comfortable chair to sit in, small touches can make a huge difference. I've known a gentleman who, after his children moved out, transformed his spare room into a cozy retreat. He added a comfy chair, soft lighting, and a few personal touches. Photos, books, and a small table for his tea. This little space became his sanctuary, where he could spend time reading, meditating, or simply enjoying the quiet. It gave him something to look forward to in his alone time, making solitude feel like a treat rather than something to be avoided. Another way to really tap into the benefits of solitude is to embrace the joy of learning. Solitude can open up opportunities to dive into things you've always wanted to explore but never had the time for. Whether it's learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, or simply expanding your knowledge on a subject that interests you, being alone gives you the mental space to focus on personal growth. This could be the perfect time to take up knitting, try out a new language, start painting, or even learn about something that's always fascinated you, like astronomy or history. With so many resources available online, it's easier than ever to learn something new. And you don't have to commit to long hours. Just a little time each day can bring a sense of accomplishment and excitement that enriches your life. One woman I know spent years raising her children and running a household, always putting her interests on the back burner. But once her kids were grown and she found herself with more time alone, she decided to explore her passion for painting. She took an online class, and before long, she was creating beautiful pieces of art that she proudly displayed in her home. Not only did it provide her with a sense of accomplishment, but it also gave her a deep sense of joy and fulfillment that she never expected from solitude. Learning something new, especially in your later years, can be incredibly empowering. It reminds you that age is just a number when it comes to growing and evolving. And the best part is that the pursuit of knowledge or a new skill doesn't have to feel like a task. It can be something you do purely for the joy of it. Now, let's talk about self-care. When you embrace solitude, you have the perfect opportunity to prioritize your health and well-being. It's a time when you can focus on taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit without distraction. Whether it's practicing yoga, going for walks, eating healthier meals, or meditating, Solitude allows you to slow down and give your body the attention it deserves. I know one gentleman who started taking regular walks in his neighborhood after his wife passed away. At first, it was simply a way to get out of the house and clear his mind, but soon he realized how much it improved his physical and mental health. The solitude of walking allowed him to think clearly, breathe in the fresh air, and reconnect with himself. Over time, it became a ritual that he looked forward to, a time when he could recharge and refresh. Another aspect of self-care is taking the time to practice mindfulness. When you're alone, it's the perfect opportunity to focus on the present moment. Mindfulness can help reduce stress, improve your emotional well-being, and enhance your sense of contentment. Whether you're practicing mindful breathing, meditating, or simply sitting in silence and paying attention to the world around you, these practices can bring a sense of calm and grounding that's often hard to find in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So, now we've covered how shifting your perspective, creating a peaceful environment, embracing learning, and focusing on self-care can help you make the most of solitude. These practices not only make your alone time more enjoyable, but also enhance your overall well-being. But there's more to solitude than just personal growth. In the next part, we'll dive into how embracing solitude can lead to deeper connections with others and help you embrace the joy of your own company. Part 3, Embracing the Deeper Connections and Joy of Your Own Company. As we continue this conversation about solitude, we can't overlook one of its most profound benefits: the way it can lead to deeper connections with others. I know it may sound counterintuitive at first. How can being alone help you connect better with the people around you? But when you spend time in solitude, it often leads to a greater understanding of yourself, which, in turn, allows you to connect more meaningfully with others. Let's think about it for a moment. When we're always surrounded by people or constantly in social situations, it can be easy to lose sight of who we truly are and what we truly need. We may be too caught up in trying to meet everyone else's expectations or desires. But when we take time alone, when we embrace solitude, we can reconnect with our own values, preferences, and emotions. And that clarity is what allows us to show up as our true, authentic selves when we interact with others. Think about a time when you were rushing around, constantly engaging with others, and didn't have a chance to reflect. Did you ever feel like you weren't truly present in the conversation or connection? Solitude can provide the time and space for reflection, allowing you to understand how you feel about a situation or relationship before you act. This self-awareness makes your interactions more intentional and fulfilling. Take the time to journal, meditate, or simply think about the relationships you value most in your life. What do you appreciate about them? Are there any changes you'd like to make? Having these quiet moments of introspection enables you to be a better listener, a more present friend, or a more engaged partner. You can approach your connections with fresh eyes, creating bonds that are deeper and more meaningful. Moreover, solitude can give you the confidence to embrace the joy of your own company. Many people, especially as they get older, worry about being alone because they fear it means they're missing out on something. But let me tell you, being comfortable in your own company is a true gift. There's something incredibly empowering about learning to enjoy your own presence. Some people think that being alone is a sign of failure, but in reality, being content with solitude is a powerful form of self-love. When you enjoy being on your own, you don't need constant validation or external distractions to feel whole. You begin to appreciate the simple pleasures: a cup of tea, a good book, or a peaceful moment in the garden. These moments can fill your heart with joy and contentment, even without anyone else around. One woman shared with me that after years of caring for her family and putting her own needs last, she finally began to enjoy time alone when her children had moved out. She started to take long walks by herself, went to the library, and began painting. At first, it felt a little uncomfortable, but soon she realized how much she loved it. Now, she looks forward to her solitary activities because they help her feel grounded and connected to herself. She doesn't feel lonely, she feels at peace. Being comfortable with your own company also gives you the freedom to create your own schedule. You can spend your time however you want without worrying about obligations or meeting others' expectations. You can slow down, indulge in hobbies you love, or simply take a nap if you need to. This independence is incredibly fulfilling because it puts you in control of your own life. It's like giving yourself permission to enjoy your own presence. No pressure, no deadlines, just freedom. And speaking of freedom, embracing solitude can encourage personal growth and exploration in ways that interacting with others might not. When we're alone, we can be more reflective and focused, without being influenced by other people's opinions or expectations. We can explore our interests and passions freely, whether it's learning a new skill, discovering a new book, or even setting new personal goals. Imagine having the time to explore new ideas and projects without distractions. When you're not constantly trying to meet others' needs, you can dive into things that truly excite you. Maybe you've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar or take up knitting. Now, solitude can provide you with the time and space to do just that. And what's more, this pursuit of personal growth brings its own sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. But beyond personal growth, solitude can also be a gateway to spiritual growth. Whether or not you're religious, there's something deeply calming about being alone with your thoughts and reflecting on life's bigger picture. For some, this could be meditation or prayer, while for others, it might mean taking a walk in nature and simply appreciating the world around you. Solitude can deepen your sense of connection to something greater than yourself. Whether that's a sense of spirituality, nature, or the universe, it offers the space to contemplate life's mysteries, seek inner peace, and connect with your deeper sense of purpose. In fact, many older adults report that they find a sense of peace and fulfillment in their solitude that they never experienced when they were younger and surrounded by constant demands. The quiet allows them to find clarity, purpose, and gratitude for the life they've lived so far. It helps them focus on the present, rather than worrying about the past or the future. Let's not forget, however, that embracing solitude doesn't mean cutting yourself off from social connections entirely. Solitude is about balance. While you might enjoy time alone, it's important to also stay connected with others in meaningful ways. Solitude can give you the space to recharge, so you can bring your best self to relationships when you do choose to engage. The key is finding a healthy mix, having time for yourself, while also nurturing the relationships that matter most to you. As you embrace the quiet moments, you'll likely find that they lead you to an even greater appreciation for those moments when you are surrounded by others. You may find yourself savoring the time with friends, family, or even acquaintances in a new way, with a deeper understanding of who you are and what you truly value. In conclusion, solitude after 60 can be not only a blessing, but a powerful way to enrich your life. It offers you the opportunity to reconnect with yourself, nurture your well-being, and foster meaningful connections. It gives you the freedom to explore your passions, find peace, and grow in ways that wouldn't be possible in the hustle and bustle of constant activity. So, don't be afraid of being alone. Embrace it. You may just find that it's one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. Remember, the quiet moments you spend with yourself are not moments of absence, but moments of presence. Presence with your true self. And that's a gift that only you can give yourself. Here's to living your best life, enjoying the serenity of solitude, and celebrating the amazing person you are. At any age,